morning, everyone. I see that yesterday my Gossiping Clams video wasn't working very well. Although the words were on there, they were predicted text and it didn't work super amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and share our video for Gossiping Clams without the words, but where you can actually just listen to the story. So Gossiping Clam.
This story comes from the Puget Sound region of Western Washington and is told in different ways by different tribes. A long time ago, clams had feet. You know those clams you find at the beach? Well, they had feet. They would walk everywhere. And they would go everywhere. Wherever you went, there were clams around. If you went to your house, there'd be clams in the front of the house and inside your house. You went into the mountains, there'd be clams of the mountains walking around. Clams were everywhere because they had feet. They walked everywhere. And so the clams, as they walked everywhere, they watched the people. They were always watching people. Wherever you were at, there'd be little clams watching you. If you were getting ready to go to work that day, there'd be little clams in your house watching you. If you were working during the day, they'd be standing around watching you. You're getting ready for bed, there'd be little clams watching you. They were everywhere, and they were watching you all the time. And if that wasn't bad enough, the clams at night, when you were asleep, would get together, and they would talk about you. They would talk about you and everything you had done that day. And if it didn't sound exciting enough, they would add a few little things that maybe didn't happen but made the story better. And so they would gossip about you. The clams were gossiping all the time, talking about people, watching people, studying people, making stories up about people. The clams were gossiping all the time. One day Raven, that big blackbird Raven, was way out in the woods, and he was doing something really, really bad. I don't know what it was, but it must have been really bad because he was hiding. He didn't want anyone to see him. And when he was done doing this really bad thing, he turned around, and there was a little clam looking at him. And Raven said, "Oh, excuse me, I didn't know you were there, little clam, but hey, promise me you won't tell anyone what you saw me doing. I don't want anyone to know about this." And the little clam said, "I promise, Raven, I won't tell anyone." Raven said, No, I'm really serious. I'm serious. Don't tell anyone. I don't want anyone to know about this. Promise me." And the little clam said, "What kind of clam do you think I am? Of course, I give you my word, I won't tell anyone." But when that little clam got home that night, he told everyone. He told everyone what he saw Raven doing. He said, I couldn't believe it. In the middle of the forest, in the broad daylight, he's doing this terrible, terrible thing. And then he tells me not to tell you, but I have to tell you because he told me not to tell you. And so that little clam told everyone what he saw Raven doing. And Raven was really angry. He spread his black wings across the earth, and he gathered up all the clams between his wings. And he took them down to the beach. And he would take a clam and drop it onto the sand and put his foot on top of it and push it under the sand. And then he would do the same with another clam, drop it onto the sand, put his foot on it, and drive it under the sand. And so he did this to all the clams, all the clam people he pushed under the sand. And he said to them, "All right, little clams, you like to gossip? Go ahead and gossip now. But every time you open your mouth, because you live under the sand, every time you open your mouth, water and sand will rush into your mouth. This is your punishment for being gossips." And so that is where the clam people are today. Under the sand, on the beach. But do you think that stopped them from gossiping? Of course not. When you walk across a wet and muddy beach, you'll see little spurts of water coming from under the sand. Do you know who that is? That is the clam people. And they're still talking, they're still gossiping, and they're talking about you. And that is all.
All right, so there is the story for you in case you weren't able to find it the other day. If you were able to find it, no problem. I just want to make sure I gave that to you. All right, see you soon. Bye.